In the last video, we saw some basic conjugation using EST 1010. Today, let me walk you through some of its exceptions.
Before that, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, like the video and share it with your friend who is learning German or wants to learn German.
Exception number 1. Some verbs are there whose root verb ends with T or D. Then in that case, with do, ears and ear, we are going to add an extra E. For example, arbeiten, that means to work. So arbeit is the root verb and en is the endungen. And arbeit is a root verb which is ending with T, hence the conjugation will be ich arbeite, du arbeitest. It will not be arbeitst, but we are going to add an extra E. So it will be du arbeitest, es arbeitet, wir arbeiten, ihr arbeitet and sie arbeiten. Exception number 2 is only applicable for do. When the root verb ends with S, double S, set or Z, then normally the conjugation of do is st, but in this case we are only going to apply t. Zum Beispiel, tanzen, that means to dance. So the conjugation will be ich tanze, du tanzt, es tanzt, wir tanzen, ihr tanzt and sie tanzen.
Now, in the comment section, please write the conjugation of heißen and warten
For more detailed video, check out the full video on YouTube.
and follow Schritt für Schritt.